Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8. Okay, I'm still a little upset that the Soviets got this much territory up here, but oh well. Not too much to do about it other than replay it, but I don't really feel like that. And, well, it will matter, I think. We'll see. So let's roll the clock forward a little bit. We are going to dishonor the pact. We're going to keep all this territory here in the east. Now we are also racing eastward with all of these forces. Most all of them. We'll get to that in a second. Okay, advanced education, good. But, we're... But there were a couple of things I wanted to specifically... Oh, partisan suppression. Yes. That will be good. These guys, let's send... We need to just do it from there, I think. So I'm very unscientifically shifting forces over here. Just sort of doing it as a... I think I've got, you know, a reasonable proportion of forces that are at my current availability. But we are racing east. The idea is to get over here before the Soviets are ready for us. Sniper warfare. A minuscule bit more, so let's go with that. Okay, Japan has conquered China, very good. Civil defense, which now allows us for home front. Focus. Manpower down, but supply production up. Hey, yeah, we want to do that. Even with some of the other stuff we sort of need to or can do now. So how are we doing over here with Japan? So we've got, looks like 2 warlord states left in the communist Chinese. Romania is looking like it wants to join the Axis. Good. Definitely like that if they would care to do so. Oh, there we go. Finally got enough supplies in here for our next major building. So let's take a quick look down there as to what is available. Police headquarters, that of course reduces revolt risk, which is a good thing, but research efficiency improvement there, ruling party support. Imperial War Ministry, Land Organization, Air and Naval Organization reinforcement bonus. I think that is probably the next best thing to go for. So let's see, Imperial War Ministry right here at the top. Wanted to make sure we had enough money, supplies, and everything else for that. So I didn't want to eat up that. Just 5% organization across the board is just really good, actually. I mean, if that was the only bit of improvement over the other nations, wouldn't be that much, but with everything else as well. So right now we're going to race to the border, and then we're going to make sure that all of these delays are gone, and we've got supplies moved out there. Road network advance. That will move along that. And something else that looks like it just popped up. A welded plate armor. Which will allow advanced armor design, so we'll go with that. That will help all kinds of good things there. So let's do drop tanks. Now to the increased let's see if I can some of these guys. No, they don't have much. Okay. Okay, you guys can go to there, but the main thing I want to do is I'll send you up there as well. These guys. Now, how far? Okay. No, nobody. This we're gonna have empty. And let's rebase you to Berlin. Hungary is mobilizing. Okay, now. Okay, that's as far as they can supply. So we're going to air supply to Nessie. They're slow, but should carry a fair amount of bulk. But we will move these guys at least temporarily down to here. Create a little bit of a supply bridge. Now, I turned down 2 opportunities well, one opportunity to get Condor bombers, the other opportunity to get transports, and I think maybe they were going to be the long range ones, I'm not sure. If I really was for sure I was going to do this, I would have taken those, because those would have been very useful, where I normally I'd have much more time to plan to build it. Oh yeah, the road network. Okay. So now we basically it's just a little bit more organizational regain rate, 0.2%, and People's Republic of China has now been annexed by Japan. My biggest frustration that I faced again with the previous invasion that I just did of the Soviet Union was the lack of movement because of supplies. And oh, I also got these guys now. Well, good. And you might think, well, yeah, because of supply problems, you should have that. Yeah, I know, but fairly early and fairly simply. Not we're facing supply problems in winter, or oh, we penetrated, you know, down to Stalingrad and we can't get enough supply out there. Nah, it was, you know, problems in and around here. Okay, superior firepower, which allows us to add one more brigade. To an infantry division. Yeah, we'll do that. Oh, good, all subs survived that attack. Even if they are a bit beat up. Yes, you can have money for rare material, Bulgaria. As you can see, these guys are already out of fuel. Japan, what do you want? No, thank you. Thanks, but no thanks. How's revolt risk doing? Okay, well. Some of this will change when we occupy it all for Germany. Okay, so they finished their war with Finland, it looks like the Soviets did. Yeah, they have a truce now. I haven't taken that, so I don't know. Just a few more hours. Oh, they want to give us access? Yeah, we'll accept that. These guys are out of, what, fuel probably. Now, can these guys fly fuel? No. Not to there. Not to there, so we've got to move them further. Forward. These guys here, they can fly fuel. And supplies, here's supply, generally speaking. Oh, the French got lucky or something there. Okay, lots of stuff just happened. Road network advanced, so we have our supply transfer cost down, supply throughput up considerably, 25%, and production up 1%. That's nice. Britain's launched a couple of vessels. Another SS Standarten, Heimwehr Danzig has been removed. Sort of almost useless by how little. It is, or how long it stays there, okay. We don't need more entertainment because we're already running at 0. Consumer good needs money, sure, would be nice more, but that's not a big deal. So we either go with heroic tales or huge news. Ruling party support. Organizational regain rate 1%. Territorial national unity. I want to do huge news for that national unity. Well, also get it there too. Yeah, I think heroic tales is probably the way to go. Okay. Now, if we had honored, and I for some time wondered about this, because there were a lot of, well, different periods of time, basically sort of starting somewhere in the Teutonic era, Germans started to populate this area. There was also during, from I think Peter the Great's time, an attempts to draw Germans to live in Russia for multiple reasons. And this continued after Peter the Great's time. A lot of it, I think, was wanting to bring in some of the German culture that he saw, the sort of, if you will, and this is the wrong term for it, but sort of the quickest shorthand I could say is sort of for the middle class nature. Now, a lot of them weren't really middle class, but sort of for the, shall we say, because a lot of them were peasants, though there was trying to bring in a fair amount of tradesmen in, but a lot of them were peasants. But they were just, I don't know, maybe a bit more independent farmers than the, and of course I could be really wrong about this, but compared to the average Russian serf, who was maybe more of just a farm worker as opposed to a independent farm manager of a small farm. You know, it could be a single family farm, but that's sort of a whole different skills than just simply a worker. And so most of the German communities, at least going into Russia, sort of kept to themselves, set up their own villages, their own areas. They were granted, land or whatever. And then there was also a fair amount, like I said, tradesmen that moved into various towns, sometimes rather technical, but also just naturally here in the Baltic regions, even before that these were well-defined states or governments, because at different times Sweden, owned a lot of this territory. Definitely they were, identifiable cultural, provincial type groups, but going back and forth here. So there are a lot of Germans had moved in here as well. Hitler really cared about the Germans wherever they lived. Now, the strangest thing for me was why did they only remove people from Estonia and Latvia? They did not remove any Germans from Lithuania. Well, that's because the original Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, Lithuania was going to be part of the German sphere, and Estonia and Latvia were going to be part of the Soviet sphere. So I don't know. I have not read specifically, probably just because probably because of the change in the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact. None of the writers that I've read about Hitler and the sort of high level ever really talked about what they had planned to do with Lithuania, whether it was just going to be part of greater East Prussia, or whether that was going to be some sort of puppet state. I don't know, but it was going to be part of the German sphere. Well, once the original, I think, was more or less the Vistula line here. Say more or less because maybe it was, cutting across something like this or whatever, but it was sort of going to be the Vistula line. And here, I think, is what the original division of Poland was going to be, but partially with the German success, partially I don't know, just the realities on the ground, like I said, which goes to the German success. The bug sort of becomes the line dividing East and West Poland for the German occupation, and in so agreeing to do that, the Soviets said, yeah, sure, fine, but give us Lithuania. So, but they never did They moved, so 60,000 Germans from these two countries were brought out. There was actually a second wave brought out after the Soviet occupation. The first wave, they got them out before the, if I remember correctly, before Soviet occupation of the Baltic states. And the Germans were compensated for their lands that they were selling and that kind of stuff. The latter, under the Soviet Union, they just sort of got pulled out, and they were relocated, some into Germany, most into occupied parts of Poland. So we'll gain some manpower in some regions there representing that shift. If we want to or not do it, this is just a reminder. Think about the German colonies. Yes, we want the Commerce Raider. Build air bases in Poland. Oh, September 40. Yeah, we'll have to go for that. The 6th Gebirgs Division. Okay. It's probably down here somewhere. That'd be there under Schroner. Okay. Now here. Let's remove that, give them pack artillery. Can we throw in an extra artillery brigade there? Yeah, since we opened up the extra slot. And let's also motorize this. Now sort of Uberish. No, we're gonna no leader here, because you're just a regular artillery regiment. Don't need a horse transport, but now we have motorized, somewhat not that speedy though, but mountain division with extra artillery. Okay, so we're, yeah, these guys, how they know they're here. We need supplies. Units, 8 units. Well, we may shift them further forward later on. Okay, here, this is also, pause. Wow, lots of good stuff, yes. Welcome aboard. We want Romania. Okay, what we're gonna take larger territories, because as we can, let's get back over here, you can see we're just mostly occupying Poland here. So we're going to go, so now all of that we no longer need to worry about. Revolt risk. Yes, we'll take a couple of SS garrison units. German-Polish trade agreement, German-Portuguese trade agreement. on the 3rd of June 1940. Now this, realize, is June 3rd. Yeah, I think Paris had fallen by this time, or if not, Germany was definitely pushing deep into France. So Germany could trade much easier with Portugal, including the idea of simply trains going from Portugal across, Spain to occupied France eventually. So we can give them some money, improve relations, get a bunch of rare materials. We'll do that. Polish tooling machines. Okay, this was part of, I presume, Germany stripping some equipment from Poland for its uses. No. Trade offer from the Netherlands. Okay, we're doing very well with the money. Yeah, we're not invading anytime soon now. Okay. We've got the full historical axis. We get another one of these types of things, when we get Finland in. But because we've got Japan, this is new to this version. I've seen this before, but first time played. Which I sort of already think is done in the tripartite agreement. But okay, we'll take this if they figured out it should be done. Revolt risk down, national manpower modifier. Okay, that seems good. ICs, oil, energy, rare materials, supplies, money, leadership. Wow, that's a lot of leadership, 10%. Territorial pride, espionage bonus, ruling party support. Research efficiency, I see. Okay, good. The Vienna Diktat, as opposed to the Munich Diktat. Yes. We're going to... we've already got Hungary in, but it's historical and doesn't really hurt us, so we're going to go with that. Which gives Hungary much more territory, and Romania has just lost all of this territory here. Now, let's see, we've got a couple of 3 research points, it looks like. Don't know what we're gonna get. Okay, yeah, air defense, that's nice. We'll go with that. Since we're venturing in onto a land war against the Soviet Union, looking for I forget what. Yeah, we'll do that. Something I think may require that. I know we were just here, but I'm looking around. Ooh, first aid, that would be very useful. And we'll do combat medicine as well. Now, how are we doing for supplies? Almost too much there. I don't know if waiting is going to improve anything. You can burst right out through there right now without any opposition. You can burst in through here very quickly. And we can take advantage is that Romania is already occupying all that territory. So let's save this just in case I'm messing something up, and I'm going to come back to it. Close. Okay, diplomacy. Soviet Union. Oh, we want to do a couple at least. And, oh god, I keep thinking I've gotten rid of all of that. God, I hate that image. I hate that image. The reason I hate that image is that patch is just an affront to me because it's some sort of Fourth Reich fantasy patch. It's also, you can see this little bit here, some crappy, cheapy BS that the SF at its worst, everything collapsing, falling apart, would never have approved the patch. That ugly made just yeah, I know this is my sort of bugaboo with the stuff, and its heart is that it's unhistorical. I mean, I really like the sort of the modern sort of use of the Totenkopf head for the Totenkopf units. But that's sort of a modern look to a actual sort of used thing, where this is they're throwing a patch on there, and I hate that. Thought I had gotten all of those gone simply by making my own and naming them the right thing, but I guess not. Okay, so we're going to lose a bunch of our standard units that I've already sent to garrison, but that gives us, I think they show up over here ready for our invasion of the West. Well, let's there it is. Now what I want to do here immediately is get rid of these guys. They slow this whole thing up. No, it won't be wrong. Just grab this one. There we go. Oh, not Frank. This guy, whoever he is. Send this east to help. Occupation duties. Totenkopf unit. We'll send that. Well, they need transport, don't they? I think to go faster. Send that over there. Okay, railway. Level 5. Did we stop that? No, we didn't. Oh, I know what I want to do. Well, yeah. Go with that. Now the other thing also you need to do here is this Blitzkrieg bonus goes away if you've declared a war on the Soviet Union, so we need to do that beforehand. I made that mistake in the last playthrough. That's why I learned to save things before I do the big, massive, big steps. Okay, I'm not going to create the air landing division. Conquer the Soviet Union. Now, we're going to not start out with a core headquarters. There we go. These guys. Well, let's do that. Oh, you should be attached to. Is Third Army a good army to be attached to? Yeah. Let's move them forward as well. Get rid of this view. And we have a core for you to attach to. No, not the flat. That'll be okay. Now, let's do the second transit block. Get across that river there. Keep it along the north side of that swamp. Already and units moving into it. Okay, so you should get some. We'll move them forward here. Well, this is just going to take too long. So next episode will show the brilliance of my various attacks. I want to thank you all for watching. I want to thank you for liking the videos. That does help. And of course, please try to tell a friend or an enemy or somebody that you might want to check the channel out. And thank you for posting comments, questions, suggestions, ideas. I love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.